everyone. Welcome to another Book Review Wednesday, and today I'm going to be briefly diving into Island of the Blue Dolphins, written by Scott Odell. This is one that I remember fairly distinctly from my childhood, and it was a fairly popular book upon its initial release and received a lot of recognition over the years. And I think it's definitely safe to say that it's one of those interesting stories that really does kind of give you a full picture, at least within the context of the Native American culture, as well as a survival story. So without further ado, let me kind of give you a brief plot summary here. Basically, you have an Indian tribe who eventually decides to leave their home island. And you will see within the story how they sort of come to this conclusion and how the events sort of unfold to where eventually they end up leaving. So it's not like right off the bat they end up leaving. It's a little bit later on within the story until a certain portion of context and exposition is kind of given, and also certain conflicts arise. So that's, I think, something that's very important to note. It's not like right off the gate you're in the survival story stage. But basically, you've got the main character, Karana, and her brother Romo, who unfortunately get left behind as their tribe is leaving the home island. And you will see how that ends up happening if you choose to read the story. And basically, they're out to sort of survive on the island until somebody can finally come and get them. What really brings out the strengths, at least within the story, is that it's good in developing the main character, Karana, and also you really do see the sort of trials and tribulations as she is sort of trying to survive with her brother, and you will sort of see what happens to the brother as well. And it really does bring out a certain level of strength to sort of combat this kind of circumstance, at least the one that they're in. And you really do see that strength and resilience shine through her character. And what's also great too is that you really do feel like this is something that really does get to sort of the cultural context, in the sense that there are points to where it really does make sense that at points she would think maybe a certain way, but then we'll have to ultimately overcome that cultural understanding and end up doing something in order to sort of survive, so to speak. And there's also other things too, like the barriers of language and whatnot, that are also fairly present within this film. So they really do try to make it a lot more of a down-to-earth story. It's not like Pocahontas where she can just suddenly speak English. So that's also something that I think is also important to note. And you really do get the sense of isolation, as well as a companionship that she ends up developing as the story progresses. And it's just one of those great survival tales that, again, really does utilize the important aspects of a survival story, and kind of tries to bring forth certain ideas that are actually fairly unique and interesting. And you do sort of see how she kind of really progresses as the story moves forward. And you'll see the ultimate conclusion that ends up happening. So it really does try to follow the sort of arc, that sort of survival arc of, somebody's abandoned, somebody tries to survive, and then you ultimately see the conclusion that ends up coming out of trying to survive. And here we do see how at certain points, she, or at least has a certain amount of failure in her attempts. So again, I think it's really good to show a kind of very human element here, and it's very present within this film, and I think it ultimately works really well. So if you're interested in Native American kinds of stories and stories that reflect onto the aspects of survival and um, needing to sort of adapt to the environment and whatnot, this will definitely appeal to you. It really does offer what a good story like this should, I think, offer. But I think that's really ultimately all I can say about it, again, without really giving too much away as to exactly what happens. I'd be more than happy to hear anybody's questions, comments, concerns. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a pleasant day, week, month, and year. I apologize that I had to fortunately delay this video. Expect a delay with Fridays as well as Saturday's video, but I am trying to upload when I can. So, and also I should mention though that sometimes I'll try to leave within the description if I don't say within the video, if it's within a certain video, if I'm going to be able to upload on time or not. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have a pleasant day, week, month, and year. Until next time. Bye-bye.